Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Julia McNeil Crafts. So today is National Music Day. So the lovely Natalie has organised a collaboration in association with that for us to celebrate National Music Day. And that's what I'm doing today. So I think music's such a important thing for us. It really kind of evokes emotions, doesn't it, music? Or it can, you know, if we're feeling down, we can put on happy music and it makes us feel better, or, you know, just gets us through the housework. Could blast some funky music. Right, so what I've done is I've just grabbed some Distress Oxides in Spice Marmalade, feathered peacock and picked raspberry onto a sheet, and I am just going to put those on. I've thingied them with water and I'm going to swirl around. I have no idea what I'm doing today, as always, and we'll see what we've got. That's not quite the look I was going for, but never mind. We can build it up. Let me have a little look. Grab my tissue. This is the thing when you do inky techniques like this, you're never quite sure exactly what you're gonna get. Now, I've got to be careful that I don't get too much mud. So I'm going to lift some of that off, I think, and then maybe put a little bit more. I think I want some more pink. So I am going to, I'll grab a different sheet. That one's got all the different colours on. And as usual, I'm leaving it till last minute. Normally, you know, last minute is the night before. This time last minute is in that I have 3 hours to make this, edit it, get it up and pick my daughter up from school at the same time. So, it'll be fun to see how that goes. So I'm just going to, oh, that's a bit more to my liking. I am just going to grab that like that. What I might do is just blast that with my heat gun a second, and then we can build up a few more layers. Okay, so I have got my Stays On ink pad because I've been playing with watercolours, and I probably will do a bit more playing with them. Okay, so I am going to make sure I cover that really, really well, and I'm going to stamp it about there, I think. Okay, I'm going to stand up, make sure I've given this plenty of pressure, because, you know, I have a stamping platform, but I never seem to have got round to playing with it, because, you know, also have rocker blocks too, but I still seem to do it the old-fashioned way of like this, and standing up, and lots of pressure. So we'll see if that was a good move or not in a second. Yeah, that's alright. Okay, so I love this image. I love the kind of top hat and the thing. What I'm going to try and do now is take a bit of colour out of the clock and then add a bit of colour to the hat, and then I might stamp some more flowers on a separate page and we will layer that up. So I'm just going to look for a nice round brush. Okay, this one's quite big. No. I'm also working on a little bottle, look, how ridiculous is that? Okay, so what I want to do is to try and lift some of the colour out of this. decant that into here. Do it properly. I'm just so impatient. Just so impatient. Okay. Right. The secret to this is trying to get loads of water on it. So get lots of water, get all of those layers moving so that we can white this out a little bit. Okay. And I will grab my towel and we'll just gradually see, there we go, I don't know if you can see that, but we've lifted definitely a bit paler, so I'll just try again. And lots of water on. As I said, the secret to this is loads of water. And I think I'll maybe take some out of the hat as well. Okay, like so. There we go. Really lifted quite a bit of that colour out of that centrepiece there, which is great. And what I'm going to do is get out some of my Spectrum sparkle pens and we'll add a little bit of colour to this with that. So I'm taking it away to add it, mostly because if you don't, you could end up with, you know, mud, and that's not a good look. So if we lift some of that out, then we're not going to need to do that. So I'm going to get my Spectrum sparkle pens. I want this graphite one here, and for the top hat. So I'm going to pull my little mat back in with all the colours on it. As I said, these all become journal pages. All these drop sheets. So what I'm going to do is just put a bit of this out. Oops, that's probably a bit more than I'd expected. But these are really, really highly pigmented, so I don't want too much. So I'm just going to put that in the shadow areas of the stamp, like so. These are so highly sparkled, and I forgot to shake the pen as well. So like I'm just putting those in the bits where the shadow's actually already drawn. Okay, I'll bring this over so I'm not stretching over the view the whole time. And then I'm just going to gradually draw that out. That's maybe a bit too much water, I could do with a drier brush, but we'll just gradually sort of draw this out so that we're going to put a bit of colour onto the hat, like so. And a bit of sparkle too, add a bit of drama. And we'll just pull that out like so. So as I said, these sort of stamps are brilliant because you don't need to understand the rule of, you know, light source and all of that as much, because it's kind of done for you. So if you put go darker in the areas that are already shaded in, then you're kind of sorted. And as I said, this is adding just that nice bit of sparkle there. Okay. I'm liking that. Okay. And then I think we'll maybe see if we can get some sort of pearlized. What have I got? Okay, so I've got some twinkling H2Os in iridescent red, and I'm just going to put that over the clock face just to add that bit of iridescence and bit of interest onto this here. Like so. And then I am going to just quickly paint in some of those roses. So again, I've got a Spectrum or Sparkle pen. This is in pink. Now I'm not going to be bothered about this too much because I'm going to stamp this out again. So at the minute I'm just trying to add colour. So I'm just going to, you're not really going to see it because I'm going to stamp it a few more times and put my, put the cut out, the fussy cut images over this. But this is just so that, you know, when I shape the fussy cut images, that it'll, I can't find my words. If I can't see underneath it, it doesn't matter. because it'll still be coloured, if that makes sense. So if something goes wrong with the cutting out or something, there's not going to be a big bit of white underneath. So again, I've got a bit of Spectrum Wire yellow, and I'm sort of mixing it in with the blue that I've got there to give us a bit of green, but I'm not being overly precise. So we will just pop that in like so, and then what I will do is just with the peacock feathers, I'm just going to go around that swirl, because that is something that's not going to be cut out. So just to emphasise that swirl, I will do that like so. I'm being quite loose, I'm not trying to actually stick to the bit, but we're just kind of creating that shadow and stuff so that we can actually see that swirl going on. Okay. Right, so what I will do is I'm going to stamp out those roses again and fussy cut them out, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I have got my white Posca pen, and I'm just going to activate it first, and then add some little sort of dots and dashes and various points on the hat. That'll just help it pop, and we can kind of sort of see the definition of the hat again once we do that. Okay, and I'm also going to do the same on these flowers. Just add a little bit of squiggle just on some of the little petals. I just find it's all these little extra details that add interest for me, so I am quite a stickler when it comes to details. Even when I find them in a total rush, I sometimes think, oh yeah, I'll do it without the doodle border, or I'll do it without my little white squiggly lines or whatever, and I just can't. I can't leave it. Right, what I am going to do now is to cut into these flowers, just into the various petals, as much as I can without destroying it. And then what that means I can do is we can just go in, ooh, see, without destroying it, but it's okay because I've got two. What that means is we can just add a bit more dimension. The card's still wet there, but that's fine because I've got this one. So we're just going to, as long as I don't break this one, we're fine. That's why I should actually get my proper tool out and do it properly. So we'll maybe do that for that one. There's my little, I can't live without this thing, honestly. Ooh, sorry, rolling about. So I've got my little flower shaping tool. That's probably the best way of doing it. I'll just roll that about, and then can sort of manipulate it in here as well. So if we do that and then that, see, never know. Never know. All looks like I've deliberately decoupaged it and everything. There we go. And I will do the same with this. Not quite as much. I'm only going for one layer for the other ones, so that the emphasis is really on this really big one on the top hat there. So we've got that one, and then we've got the bud, and what have I got here? Oh, that's that, and then we've got that bud there. Okay, like so. Right. I do have a little bit of sort of music. I pulled it out. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Some rice paper with a bit of music on it. Let's see if that adds anything to what we're doing. So cut out, or not cut it out. I just tend to dampen it down because it tears. She says it tears more easily, and it gives a better blend into the project that you're working on if it's got the torn edge. So I'm just wondering whether something, a little bit of rice paper music notes would come in handy. I don't want that red, but I don't think. Maybe if we do something like that, that might work. Okay. Right, so I will get some medium. It's a textile one. Let me see. I'll just use a gel medium, that'll be fine. Okay. So I'm going to put that on there like so. Like I said, I've no intention what I'm doing. It's sort of, it will be a base to a card, I think, or something for a card once it's done. But I'll sort of need to let it dry. I love rice paper and the fact it just sort of disappears. You can still see all the work you've done before, and it sort of disappears into the project. I just thought that might add a bit of extra detail, and then we can see where we want to go with it all. And pop that in as well. Maybe take some of that. I don't really want it going on the hat. I can do that. Okay, that's quite good now. Let's see. Maybe just put a few other bits just here and there. That red flower is not working for me on it, so I keep pulling that off. Probably should have done this before I'd done the stamping, but I sort of only just thought about it, so I'm forgiving myself. Okay, so I've done that now. Let's stick our flowers down. To grab my pocket tool. Oh no, I'm not. I'm just going to grab this paintbrush because it's to hand. Hoping this won't be too waffly. Been used to speeding up my last few videos with the fact that my microphone had issues, so now it's got to get back to the banter, so I'm a bit hoping that it's not just been overly like that. Yeah, so as I said, this is a collaboration organised by Natalie. So please do check out everybody's things that they've done. I love it when Natalie puts a collab together because there are so many crafters with so many different styles and passions, and you know that you'll get a really mixed variety of crafts if you do decide to hop along. I know I will certainly be finding out what all the girls have been up to. I can't wait to see. So I'm just going to pop those on there like so. Now, I am feeling that the leaves need a bit more definition. They're a bit dull. So I'm thinking that if I get my yellow sparkle pen, which is right here, I can just maybe add a bit of yellow over what's currently there, and that should really brighten that up a little bit so that we actually see it. Yeah, a bit happier with that. So we'll put that on. There's some completely missing leaves there. Okay, and then what I might do is get my black doodly pen and just fill in this branch so that it's black, so it stands out. I feel like I've lost the details of that a little bit, so I will do that like so, just very roughly. I'm not bothered about staining the lines too much. I'm sort of just doing a squiggly line in between the lines that are already there, just to give it a bit more definition, so that we can actually see what's going on with it. Okay. Right, so I'm thinking that it would look a bit more dramatic if it had a bit of a vignette. So I'm going to grab this dark blue and pop that down there. So obviously this isn't an ink, but if we take a little bit of glycerine, it just keeps it open for a bit longer like an ink pad would. So I'm just going to grab a bit of glycerine and shove that down there, and then a bit of this blue, because it's, oh, that's quite purple actually. Let's go for this one, Night Sky. Yeah, that's more what I was thinking of. Okay, and then I will grab one of my little brushes. Actually, I'll do this one because it's had a black on it already. Right, so I'm going to mix the glycerine and the ink together like that. Oh, I can feel that going right in the brush. It feels great. And I'll grab another one of these. And let's just do a little bit of blending right around the edge of the card. You tend to find if you want something really dramatic and you want something to really pop, that if you darken the edges, it draws the eyes to the brighter bits. So you might think, oh, I'm making my project quite dark, but actually what you'll find is you'll make the bright pop. So actually that could go even darker. So I will do that now. I will mix, because I like the blue, I don't know that I want to go black, so I'll mix that blue with a little bit of black. And I'll get that on this brush. Okay, yeah, that's more like it. And I'm just going to go around the card like that and bring that gorgeous dark colour in. I love little tips like glycerines. A lot of artists use glycerine. I know the Frugal Crafter, Lindsay, she's got a few videos where she's done that. I know it's been seen on Craft Telly as well. So, but it is a really good trick. It's a way of, you know, lengthening. I'm just putting all random colours down here now. It's a way of kind of expanding the craft supplies that you've got. So if you don't have all the inks but you've got pens, then you know, use what you've got. And glycerine's as cheap as chips. It's great stuff. Okay. Oh, I can feel that's really sticky. I've gone quite heavy-handed this time, but that's okay. And we will just keep going with that and a bit more pigment on my brush now. Okay. So get that nice and dark. As I said, hopefully that will mean then that the brightness of that will really pop. I'm going to bring it in on this because it's come quite far in that corner. I'm going to bring it into this corner as well. Okay. I'm liking how that's looking so far. Now I am going to do my trick. Somebody asked me, how do I get the black lines without it going onto your project? And the answer is I don't really know, to be honest. And what I did say to, I think it's Josephine, what I did say was that I would do a video on it, but I'm just going to try and concentrate now. So this is hard because I do it without thinking. So I've got the card tilted away from me, and I seem to have the pen at an angle. And I tend to sort of start a little way and go towards myself and go quite slowly. And then and do that again. See, now I did sort of go off the card there. I mean, sometimes I do, but I sort of cover it up with a doodle if that happens to me. Now, like for example here, I wouldn't go right the way down because there's a bit of paper effect in it there. So yeah, as I said, I seem to have the card at an angle tipped away from me. And then the pen I don't know, I can't really describe. It's not straight, I'm not straight, I'm sort of at an angle. And I kind of slowly go back and forth. I think if you go slowly, when it pops off, it's normally because I've gone quite fast, although I have got quite fast at doing this. This is me going quite slow and deliberately because I'm trying to work out what I actually do. See, there, when I sped up, I kind of popped off it. Okay, so that's that, like so, and then I am going to grab, I think it's going to have to be my Jane Davenport, because I have put quite a lot of glycerine on that, more than I normally do. It's probably because I'm rushing. So I'm actually just going to do the border with this. It's a slightly heavier pen. I prefer the thin doodle, but I'm not quite, I think I might wreck my doodle pen going over that just now. So I'm just going to sort of lightly hit it every so often so that we've got a little bit of interest. Going round like so. Because as I said, this is the ultimate pen, it goes over everything. So I'm not going to destroy it by having it soak into that glycerine the same as I would with my other one. I'll just do a few little squiggles as well. Okay. And then I was going to grab a sentiment. What have we got here? I'll stamp it and find out. I can't actually read it back to front, but you know, we'll just stamp it and see what happens. Right, I'm sure I've got a bit of scrap card somewhere. Here we go. So we can just stamp that. Again, I've got my stays on. Okay, so we've got so much music, so little time. That'll work. Okay, I'm just going to grab my ink pads. Just put a bit of these over them. Oh, sorry, I've just realised I'm completely not in shot. That's what I'm doing there. I'm just very carelessly shoving some ink on it so it sort of blends with the project. Maybe add a bit of water so it spreads a little bit. Okay, very carefully done. And I'm going to as equally carefully cut it out. I'm not going for it looking particularly precise. That's alright, I can live with that. I'm going for a rustic sort of look, and I'm deliberately going to go at funny angles because I think that's the way to hide the fact that it's not cut straight, is to deliberately cut it squint. Okay. So there we go. So much music, so little time. Again, I am just going to edge this with black. So again, yeah, I'm pulling towards myself and then I go away. So I sort of start in the middle, that's angled there, pull towards me, push away. That's, yeah, so I've kind of got the card angled away from me and the pen is sort of slightly angled towards me. Don't know if that makes any sense. Right, so we'll pop that there. I'll pop that on a bit of 3D foam, I think. She says, she says, she says. Okay, so I'm almost done. I've mounted that onto 3D foam. I am just going to grab my white paint, ready to do some white splashes. This is Spectrum Noir Aqua Tints. I just tend to have this one on my desk because it's white and it's liquid and it's easy. It's okay, it's not overly opaque, but it does the job. Right, so I'm just going to cover that, and we can get some lovely white splashes. It's quite good as well if you sort of turn your card or the angle you're doing on it so that the splashes go in different angles. Oops. Looks like there's a blizzard going on there. Right. I love the contrast, the fact I've really darkened the corners and then I'm now adding white splashes. I love the contrast that gives. Again, I think it's things like that that make it pop. So I've gone quite heavy-handed with the splashes there. But to be honest, not all of those are going to stay a pure white because we've got the distress oxides and things on underneath. They're going to take up a little bit of the colour. So that's me finished. What I will do because it's still quite dry, so what I will do is wait for it to dry properly. Once I've kind of got it so that it's not curling up quite so much, I just mount it on a white card like that. But anyway, that is my make for National Music Day. Thank you very much for joining me. Please do check out what everybody else has done, and if you've enjoyed what you've seen here, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back again very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.